Hello beautiful people, Dawn Divine, your tarot teacher here. Join me now as we continue our sacred tarot journey and step into the card of the Hierophant, the spiritual teacher, the guardian of tradition, and the bridge between the divine and the human. The Hierophant is numbered 5 in the Major Arcana, number 5 which sits at the centre of the digits 1 through to 9. It is the number of mediation, transition, and adaptation. It symbolises the human role as a bridge between heaven and earth. In its positive expression, 5 represents learning, communication, and intellectual growth. In shadow, it can become nervous, overly critical, or resistant to change. Wherever the number 5 appears, in systems, symbols, or cycles, it echoes the Hierophant's call to evolve through knowledge, structure, and spiritual integration. The Hierophant follows the Emperor, who taught the Fool about structure, leadership, and worldly power. Now the Fool is ready to receive spiritual guidance, to learn the sacred laws that govern not just society, but the soul. The word Hierophant means revealer of holy things. He is the high priest, the initiator, the one who holds the keys to ancient wisdom. He represents tradition, ritual, and spiritual authority, not to control, but to connect. He reminds us that we are part of something greater, a lineage, a legacy, a living tradition. The Hierophant is often likened to the priest king and reflects the archetype of Osiris, the Egyptian god of wisdom, resurrection, and sacred kingship. His counterpart, Isis, embodied by the high priestess, represents intuitive knowledge and divine mystery. Together, they form a sacred balance, the active teacher and the silent guardian, both holding equal rank within the temple of wisdom. The Hierophant teaches what the high priestess embodies. Now let's take a closer look at the imagery of this card. The Hierophant sits between 2 stone grey pillars, echoing the high priestess, but where she guards the mysteries, he teaches them. These pillars represent balance, wisdom, and duality, aligned with the middle pillar of the tree of life. He wears a ceremonial red robe, symbolising the active masculine principle, with blue inner robes linked to the high priestess and the stream of consciousness. His sleeves and accents are white, representing enlightenment. The Hierophant's crown is composed of 3 tiers, each adorned with a specific number of spires, 3 at the top, 7 in the middle, and 5 at the base. These numbers are rich with symbolic meaning. 3 represents the Trinity of Spirit, creation, preservation, and transformation. 7 corresponds to the 7 sacred planets, 7 classical chakras, and the 7 stages of spiritual growth or alchemy. 5 reflects the classical elements, air, water, fire, and earth, plus spirit or ether. These numbers are not confined to the crown alone. They echo through spiritual traditions and daily life, offering a reflection of the Hierophant's teachings, a call to explore divine structure, sacred wisdom, and the balance between spirit and matter. His sceptre is crowned with 3 tiers, which mirrors the structure of his triple-tiered crown, and symbolises mastery over the physical, astral, and mental planes. This is a reflection of Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great sage who was said to have attained dominion over body, soul, and spirit. His right hand is raised in blessing, forming the sacred gesture of benediction, 2 fingers pointing upward, 2 folded down, symbolising his role as a mediator between heaven and earth. This gesture invites stillness and receptivity, a readiness to receive teachings from both outer and inner sources. At his feet are 2 initiates, monks or priests, and they're listening attentively. They represent devotion to the mysteries. One wears robes adorned with roses, symbolising desire, passion, and creativity. The other with lilies. White lilies represented sacred knowledge and higher truths, and if you remember, these were the flowers in the garden of the magician. Both robes feature a yellow Y, symbolising the yoke of union, the quest to unite with Source and True Self. The cross keys at his feet unlock the mysteries of subconscious and superconscious awareness. The checkered floor beneath him reflects the hermetic principles of rhythm and polarity, the dance of duality. On the carpet, 4 circled X's represent Malkuth, the physical kingdom on the tree of life. the grounding of spiritual wisdom into earthly experience. His feet are rooted in practicality, while his crown reaches to divinity. The 3 crosses on his sash mirror the 3 crossbars on the tree of life, the path of ascension, balance, and sacrifice of what no longer serves us. The Hierophant invites us to explore our belief systems, our spiritual lineage, and the rituals that shape our lives. He asks, what do you believe in? Who are your teachers? What traditions do you honour? And which are you ready to evolve? He reminds us that spirituality is not always solitary. Sometimes we grow through community, shared wisdom, and sacred structure. He is the part of us that seeks meaning, that longs to belong, and that yearns to understand the deeper laws of life. He teaches us to walk a mystical path while remaining practical, to expand awareness, regenerate, and sacrifice what no longer serves us. His message is, know thyself. In Kabbalah, the Hierophant is associated with the Hebrew letter Vav, meaning nail or hook, a symbol of connection. Vav links heaven and earth, spirit and matter, teacher and student. It is the 6th path on the tree of life, connecting Chokhmah to Chesed, the path of loving wisdom. His esoteric title is the Magus of the eternal gods, the one who teaches timeless truths. He is the keeper of sacred knowledge, the voice of divine law, and the guide who helps us walk the path with reverence. Now let's look at the astrological and elemental correspondences of this card. The element is fixed earth, and the astrological sign is Taurus, which is steady, fertile, sensual, and materialistic. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, linking the Hierophant to the Empress and the themes of prosperity, beauty, and love. Taurus also rules both the 2nd and 7th houses in astrology. The 2nd house governs personal values, resources, and self-worth, themes deeply aligned with the Hierophant's teachings on tradition, prosperity, and spiritual grounding. The 7th house relates to partnerships, sacred unions, and relational harmony, reflecting the Hierophant's role as a spiritual guide within community, mentorship, and shared belief systems. Together, these houses emphasize the Hierophant's connection to both inner value and outer relationship, encouraging us to align with our spiritual beliefs with how we live, love, and relate to others. The core meanings of this card are authority, service, duty, loyalty, kindness and compassion, spiritual guidance, tradition and ritual, sacred knowledge, mentorship and teaching, community and shared belief, and initiation and belonging. He is the bridge between the sacred and the seen, the voice of divine wisdom, and the guardian of the soul's path. Now take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, what spiritual or philosophical traditions have shaped you? Who are your mentors, guides, or teachers? Are your beliefs inherited or consciously chosen? What rituals or practices help you feel connected to something greater? What beliefs or structures do you hold that are ready to evolve? And how do you balance intuition and reason on your spiritual path? Be sure to journal any insights as they come. In the shadow aspect, the Hierophant can become dogmatic, rigid, overly traditional, spiritually elitist, a gatekeeper rather than a guide, can also be an abuse of power, self-indulgence, or arrogance. Even in shadow, the Hierophant invites us to ask, what is true for me now? Through spiritual alchemy, we can transform shadow into light, awakening inner conscience and seeking teachings that resonate with our soul. You can also ask yourself where in your life you might be clinging to outdated beliefs or rigid structures, and how can you transform these through education, reflection, and conscious choice. And so the Fool learns to listen, to seek wisdom, to honour tradition, and to walk with reverence. Having received sacred teachings and embraced spiritual structure, the Fool now stands at a threshold, ready to explore the realm of connection, choice, and conscious alignment. Next, the Fool will meet the Lovers, the card of union, values, and the sacred dance of duality. Join me next as we journey into the heart, discovering love, alignment, and the power of meaningful connection.